Welcome to Hari on Strategy. As we continue with our strategic planning series, today we are continuing with part 2 of 3 of the market analysis. And we are building onto the previous episode on where we assessed how political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legislation changes affect your business. So today I'm going to share with you the 5 competitions that you need to always bear in mind when assessing the attractiveness of the industry that you want to enter into or are operating in, and when assessing how safe your competitive advantage is. Just a quick recap. The reason why we're doing a market analysis, you need to understand that as a business, you might think that you have the best business model ever and there's no competition. But you need to understand that you're operating in an ever-changing market environment. So meaning each and every day there's something that is different in the environment that you're operating in. It's either there's a new business that gets into the industry, into the market that you're operating in, or there's another business that is going out. So you need to be aware of what is really happening. And that is what, if you're starting a new business, the analysis of the market helps you to make informed decisions on whether you should be getting into that business or not. It helps you assessing the profitability and the attractiveness of the industry. So today we're continuing with the external market environment analysis, and I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 competitions that you need to always bear in mind, that as a business, your business is always fighting against 5 competitions. For you to stay in the business, you need to make sure that you defend yourself against these 5 competitions. So here are the 5 types of competitions that you're faced with. The first one is the rivalry between you and the other business selling the same product or service as you. This is the well-known type of competition, and oftentimes we limit our analysis to that. What is important when analyzing the strength of this type of competition is to look at the following. 1. The demand. If the demand is low, meaning you have little active buyers, the competition will be intense because you're competing for the same and the limited rents. The second factor you should look at is exit barriers. How easy is it to squeeze out the competition out of the market? If it is not easy to leave the market, then just prepare yourself for continuous WrestleMania. And factors that decide on the ease of exit differ from industry to industry and from business leader to business leader. There are industries that have opportunities of coexistence and their demand to be high, or rather because the demand is too high. For example, businesses that offer tutoring services, graphic design, they seldom run out of clientele because who doesn't need to ace the academics? And there are a lot of options when it comes to tutoring services. If we have lots of math and science tutors, one can decide to just tutor languages. And when it comes to graphic design, each and every business require corporate identity, and we know that in South African context, each and every day there's a new business that has been registered, and the more businesses get registered, the more relevant the graphic design services become. So another thing that we need to really understand as a business, you need to understand that the rivalry that you have, it's not only between you and the active the direct competitors that you have, like the other. If you're running a tech shop, it's not only between you and the tech shop next door, but it is also about some of the businesses. There are other businesses that are dormant, that is a business that have failed, but because some business owners are just in denial, they continue to persist, they continue to operate even though they are running out. So the fact that the people are going out, so this makes it not easy for people to go out. Some people, they're just in denial, and some people, they just have personal reasons to say, you know what, I won't go out of business, I want close business. So the more they don't close business, the more the competition increases. I'm not sure if you understand that. A person can see that the business is not working, but they decide to continue with it anyway. So And it is not good for the market to be saturated. Ideally, if a business is not working, a person should be closing down so that the market environment is less crowded. But those people that decide to continue operating even though they are no longer really making it in business, they affect you because they saturate the market. So it is not good for you as a business. So you need to understand that you are in competition with those people. Even if you see, like, for example, for on my side, there are people who are not really business consultants. They are just trying to do this. Some, they're scammers. You as a business person need to understand that you also compete with the scammers. These are the people that say they offer the same thing that you're offering. So you shouldn't write them off when you assess and analyze the people that you're directly competing with. So this the third thing that you need to look at when you assess the strength or the intensity of the competition between you and the rivals is the number of rivals. You need to know the number of direct competitors you have, not only to know the number, but also to get insights about them. What are they getting up to? Remember, these kind of competitors, things like different strategies, objective trade secrets can intensify the competition. So it is important to know who they are, how many they are, and what they are business with. So when it comes to number of rivals, so if you are running a tech shop, for example, or a fast food, a quarter business, you need to understand in the area that you're operating, how many other quarter businesses are in there, and how are these people, how are you comparing to these people? Are they good? What is it they're good at? What is it that they're not good at? How are you matching against them? So this is like the ultimate way to understand whether they're actually a threat, a great deal of a threat to you or not. So number 2, the second type of competition that you is exerting towards you, or rather that you're faced with, that you need to be aware of as a business leader, is the competition that arises from new businesses getting into the market. The reason why competitive strategy is not about striving to be the number one, but about being unique, and competitive advantage must be sustainable. I hope you remember this from our episode on competitive advantage. So the reason is because when new businesses enter the market, should have hard time trying to take you out. The goal of getting into business is to stay in business. And because you're continuously faced with competition, you should always be armed to defend your market position. Nobody should be taking you out of business. You should be fighting for that spot in the market. You should have that economic right to exist in the market. It is important to analyze how easy it is to enter the industry that you're in. It is very, very important. As much as we understand that you are a certified business consultant or whatever it is, you need to assess how easy it is to enter the industry that you're in, because it will tell you how long it may take before anyone challenges you, specifically the mafikizolas, the newbies. Oftentimes people I would think about the people that judged some of the time Facebook was starting, or other players, market players right now that are dominating the industry. You'd find that the stories starts with them being underestimated, and being underestimated is the greatest competitive advantage you can ever have. So be sure not to be taken out of business by newbies, and to do that you need to understand, you need to assess how easy it is to get to the market, and you should also be putting your ear on the ground to hear on about the newbies, who is new in the market, what it is that they're doing. And the ease of entry into your industry depends on market entry barriers, which differ from industry to industry. For example, the reason why South Africa continues to be flooded by self-proclaimed miracle makers, prophets, and church businesses from other countries is because it is easy to enter SA's market from a point of miracles and instant gratification. These people started that South Africa has people that would rather pay a mediator who proclaims that they speak to God than talk to God themselves at no charge. So factors that can make the entry to the market by new businesses easy or difficult includes regulation. For example, in some industries, you can't operate without a license. Brand loyalty. Long-standing brands like Nike do not worry about newcomers because they have loyal customers who go where they are. Who would go even if Nike today decides to get into a bottle, a hot water bottle, or a cell phone industry, people will buy a Nike phone. Other things include capital requirements. Some businesses require huge amounts of capital to get started than others. The third type of competition that you should be on the lookout for, that you should be aware of, is the competition that arises from alternative solutions. This is a crazy era of disruptive innovation. Uber threatened the maxi taxis. Airbnb threatened the conventional B&B and hotels. The rental business model is threatening the purchase business model. Self-service is threatening the work of a cashier or consultant. The fourth industrial revolution is threatening all business models, including yours. The quick question you should be asking yourself is, what can be the alternative solutions to what I'm offering? What can replace me? Maybe your business will be outsourced to a robot in a year. Things like attractive pricing, bargaining features can make your current customers switch from you to the alternative solutions. So you should be asking yourself to say, am I replaceable? What can possibly replace me? What can be the alternative solutions to what I'm offering? Don't be in denial, because you don't want what happened to Nokia years ago when they asked them, the CEO, what happened. They just say, we don't know what happened. You don't want that to happen to you. So, as much as you think that you're the flavor of the month, you have this exciting app today, it can get out of the market tomorrow. There could be another next flavor of the month. There could be another flavor of the month next month. So, ask yourself, what is that can replace you? What is it that can, instead of people coming and buying your service, what could be an alternative solution? The fourth type of competition is the competition between you and your customers. Did you know that you're competing with your customers? When you have customers that are price sensitive, just know that you'll be in a series of negotiations with them before they buy. Customers want quality at low prices. And if you're not like the Pep stores, Capitec Bank, Pfizer, etc., and you don't even know where to start with controlling costs so that you can be a cost leader. Remember our episode on the approaches you can use to gain competitive advantage. Cost leadership was one of them. If you're not like them, if you don't know how to control costs, then you're either bound to lose customers or lose money from unplanned discounts. You don't just have low prices. You can't just give people discounts without planning for them. It has to be a well thought out strategy. F&B cannot copy a low banking fees that Capitec offers, because they don't know the strategy. They don't know how they got to the point whereby they can now offer low banking fees. The customer has the power to negotiate so this is when you need to understand. You are in a competition with your customers, right? So you need to understand, when does the customer have the power to negotiate? A customer has the power to negotiate when there is a low demand, meaning you cannot afford them to leave without buying. So you take no money, whatever it is. So if you don't have clients, it is easy for you to give people discounts. They will come, and then if they say discount, you'll be bulging in just like that. So that's when we say the customer has high bargaining power, because there is low demand. You don't have enough customers. And also, when it is easy to switch to your competitor, they will threaten you. If it is easy for a customer to say, you know what, I would rather go for this one, your competitor. That's the power. If there are people that would say, you know what, instead of me getting this cell phone from you, or this sweet from you, or this apple from you, I can go to your competitor because they're selling it at a lower price. These are people that you need to understand the type of clients the customers that you're dealing with. There are people who are not brand loyalists, meaning They are bargain buyers. If I cannot afford it, I'm not gonna buy from you. If I have 5 friends and I want to spend 5 friends, and then yours is 550, I'm not gonna buy from you. I'm gonna go to the other person. And if it is easy, and this also goes to also how easy it is to switch, how easy it is, if you're not offering anything different. If it is easy for people to find what you're offering somewhere else, then just know that you will end up being a victim of your customers. They will manipulate you into discounts. And also, your customers have high bargaining power when they're informed. When you have an informed customer, just know that the sales process is gonna be quite long. They would say things like, you can't charge me 2 rands when the market average is 1 rand. If they are well informed, they won't do that. That's why the people that will say, I won't pay for this at this rate, at this fee, because I know the average market price, right? So also the bargain power of the customers is high when your customer, the customer that you're trying to sell to, is price sensitive. Low income earners are bargain buyers. You need to know that. These are the people that wait for sale. And if they are waiting, it is important to understand who you're selling to. There are people who would never buy a t-shirt that costs 200 rands. And no matter, even if you come and then you have customized it or whatever, they will never. These are the low income earners. These are the bargain buyers. They're waiting for a sale. They want 2, 3 for 2, whatever. Those kind of sales, that's the people. And you need to understand if you're dealing with such people, meaning they want to buy things in combos from your side. They don't want to just pay for one thing. They feel like they're wasting money. For them, if I'm one for a lot of things, they just want to pop out 100 rands and they're coming back with 3 or 5 things, or like a combo, whatever it is. So understand who you're dealing with, because if you don't, they're gonna manipulate you. The last, which is the 5th type of competition that you are faced with as a business, is the competition between you and your suppliers. Here it's about the strength of the bargaining power of your suppliers. So for some, after negotiating with customers, they're forced to negotiate with suppliers because they do not have enough money. For example, you have a relationship with, if you're in a supplier space, in a business where now you have to like source your products from a supplier, there's a relationship. So there are times where, you know what, you have to negotiate with your suppliers and everything. So, right, so that you can have a better price for your customers, right? So if your supplier in a situation whereby you need to negotiate with a supplier, if your supplier is on the advantage side, just know that you're doomed. Suppliers can also make your trading difficult. When there are few suppliers for what you need, suppliers tend to escalate the prices. And when it is costly to switch to a different supplier or not feasible to manufacture by yourself, what you need from them, you're bound to dance to their tune. So those are the 5 key competitions. That was a longer episode I've ever actually recorded. So those were the 5 types of competitions that you should look into when analyzing the competition your business is faced with. It is important to determine the strength of each competition, not necessarily that they all should be low. They must be balanced. So for example, if you have a good relationship with your suppliers have low bargaining power. You can deal with price-sensitive buyers who demand low prices because you'd have made a deal with your suppliers, right? You can buy in bulks. When you buy in bulks, that's economies of scale. It is easy for you to sell at a good price rather than saying just lower price. It's a good price that satisfies your customers, right? And it is also important to name drop. For each competition, name the brands that are a threat to you so that you know exactly who you are up against. So as you do from all those 5 types of competitions that you're faced with. You need to name drop. We talked about the competition, people that are offering the same thing as you. Name them. Who are these people that are giving you a hard time? We're talking about the newbies, mafikizolos. Like, you have to name drop them. We're talking about the suppliers that are too difficult. Name them down so that you understand the people that you're dealing with. Well, I hope this helped you in creating a framework to use to analyze your competition. In the next episode, we will be focused on the last part of the market analysis, where we'll be tackling SWOT analysis. So we'll be focusing on the SWOT analysis in the next episode, which now maps out and summarizes the opportunities and strengths you need to leverage on, and threats and weaknesses you need to monitor closely. And just one last thing. Remember that every business has a competition. I've met business owners that said, no one is doing what I'm doing. I do not have competition. Newsflash, you are in denial if you're that type of person or that business. You're not inevitable. Today's episode hopefully will make you realize that. Stay tuned for the next episode.